Hey, hello, Selva and Bharathi.
Hello.
How are you guys?
So she's smiling, so that means we are okay. And
That's good.
yeah,
That's good to see you. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Yeah, and thank you
yeah,
for taking the time to open your house and have us there as much as we can now during
Yeah,
this time.
that's right. Did you guys enjoy the snow yesterday?
not we didn't go out yesterday much, but we're a bit busy with the work a little bit. So, but
Okay.
we saw snow outside. Good to
Yeah.
see. Yeah,
That's right. Were the kids happy?
yeah,
All right. So we have some people there saying hello to you guys.
hello.
So we have some questions for you. As you know, we sent you those questions beforehand so that you could have a look and you know let us know if they were okay to ask.
Yeah,
But
yeah, of course, yeah,
yeah, like we mentioned earlier, you know, whatever comments or questions people from home may have, we will give you the chance to answer them as well. So my first question. So we're going to talk a little bit about also your background in India and how you guys, came to know Jesus, and
yeah.
and all of that. So my first question really is, how long have you guys lived in the UK, and really, what was the reason that you came?
We've been here for 15 years or so. Yeah, and coming here was never in my mind. I never even thought of going to a foreign land. You know, though I worked in far away from my parents, from my hometown, but still I was able to go there and see them and stay with them for quite a long time and things like that. So I never thought of coming here, but coming to foreign is his dream. He wanted to, come and work to a foreign country. He didn't even think about coming to England, but any foreign land. So he was desperately trying. He was writing all the exams, interviews, and he was traveling everywhere to attend interviews, and he was so desperate. So that's why we are here.
Yeah. For me, when I was basically, I wanted to go high up in my life because I born in India in a village, very small village, in a very bottom of India, Tamil Nadu. We speak Tamil. Um, so the looking around the people around me and my culture, and the one of the thing I get that I wanted to go high as much as possible in the life in the society to get my voice heard. I wasn't, my mom and dad, they were teachers in the primary school. We are not very poor, but we are middle class. And they were able to give us a food. We were not suffering or anything. But there are a lot of people who still have much to eat, and they're struggling to go to the school and stuff. And from my childhood, I always wanted to go higher up in my life, in earthly wise. Um, so when I was in um, I did study not bad actually. I did study well. I was the in my A levels. I was the school first. Actually, I scored a good marks in the school, but didn't get what I suppose I wanted to be a doctor at that time, but I didn't get that. But I didn't try hard enough to wait and go for it. I joined nursing. But from the day one, I didn't like it, to be honest with you, because I wanted, it looks like a serving. The first day when I go to job, they given me a bowl of water and washed all the beds and stuff. And I thought, well, look, who, you are asking me to do that. Who am I? I'm a big person, kind of thing. I didn't like it. I thought, So then I was studying, and the way we looked at it, the abroad is the only option to have a good job and good money, obviously, to lead a good decent life. So I didn't have any intention to work in there even after my finishing my college. So it was very good teaching for me after finishing my school. People just come and get one interview, they got selected and they come here. But for me, it took me 4 years, a lot of failures. God taught me. I touched a little bit around my journey taught me about knowing God at that time, because during the failure time I was seeking, is there a God or anything like that. So my intention was to go up and get money and settle and more prosperous in my life. That was the reason I came into this country. Then I got married to Bharti because we knew each other. So from the university, we studied in the same class. So I got married after a few months, and then I'm sometimes I feel she doesn't like the cold, and she still misses home, um, probably because of me. But she's okay with that. Because look at children and us, and he's hoping.
Thank you. So there's a question here from Tamsin. What part of India are you from? So you answered that, Selva, but Bharti, are you from the same
Yeah.
town as well? Yeah.
We are from southmost part of India. It's called Tamil Nadu. And yes, so we are neighbors, like neighborhood district.
Cities, yeah, it's not far. Only about it takes 45 minutes to travel from each other place. And you probably know about Madras curry, Madras.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where we are from. Yeah, yeah. The capital city of our state is Madras. Now it's called Chennai. So if you go home, you take the Chennai airport, and we'll come and receive you.
Great. Thank you.
So you were saying about how things were when you were still in India. So I have a question about your upbringing. You said that your parents, Selva, they were teachers. Were they Christians? What about your parents, Bharti? Are they Christians? Were they Christians?
No, we both are from Hindu background, and my daddy, he was a communist. Even now, he is communist. So, he's kind of atheist. So, but he never forced any of us in our family. And my mom was not a very strong Hindu. She worships, but we were never forced to worship or do the rituals. Things like that. We had a freedom of choice. But she used to ask us to come and stand in front of the God when she was doing, those cultural things. But when I was a kid, I was like a proper Hindu. I like to go to the temples. I was a very good worshipper. Twice a week, I used to go and stay in the temple. I was so attached. But from I think year one, I was in a Christian school, and even our nursing college as well, a very good Christian institution. So we knew Christ, but like whenever I feel, I go to the chapel and pray. When I come home, I go to the temple and pray. I was just like that. And even after becoming much more closer to Christ as well, I was still, kind of serving two masters, okay, good thing from here, and, not disappointing this God as well, like kind of thing. Until 2005, I think. And then I had an encounter with God. And then I thought, no, who is the real one to whom I have to give my life, and rather than thinking anyone else or anything. Even before I was thinking of, but I didn't want to disappoint my family, my mom, things like that. So I was giving more importance to that part. Then later I thought, no, I should choose the real one, the real Almighty. So
So interesting you said that, because we have a question here from Clive and saying why Jesus and not all the other gods?
Yeah, do you want me to come back to state on it, or can I tell about my parents? Yeah, Clive, I'll come back to you 1 second. My parents are same, Hindus, and my father is not very strict with us, but he's very devotional to God. And the bells, he does bells every day, and he gets up and washes himself and does stuff. My mom, she's good, but she's from mainly her education is from the Christian institution, so she knows about Jesus, and she knows about the history of Jesus and everything. But we were never forced, apparently, to get into it. That's it. We could go there and do stuff, and then we come out of it. Not so much in it. Yeah. So, but when I the first encounter, not encounter, knowing about Christianity is when I went to college to do my degree. That time, the first time people sing in the church, we sing only cinema songs outside the church. And I was really wondering, looking at the person next to me, he was opening his mouth and with his organ, and he was singing. Oh, you sing to God, and it was amazing. Then during the college, I was so in one word, not very good, to be honest. So every time when I get into trouble, people say to me, there's a chapel inside, like God said, go and pray. It says, Psalm 15, 15, just to come back to me when you're in day of trouble, I will release you from that. That's a big painting on the top. So I'll just read that verse and I pray. The next day, the problem disappears. That was really, that's what I did. I was Hindu and just doing that. Just to read that verse and just to pray to God. Because in Hinduism, if you say, we accept every God. Jesus is a God. Yes, of course. We went to pray to him. And then problem relieved. That got a little bit of making a routine in me. Like every time I got into trouble, I go to the chapel and just read the verse and then I pray. I knew nothing apart from that. That was the start, yeah. So do you want me to talk about the encounter to Jesus now, or is there any questions after that?
Okay, if you want to answer, I'm gonna put the question here again so people know what you're answering.
So the encounter with Jesus was amazing thing in life. When my attitude towards life is I want to go high up in the society. I want to be people noticed. In India, I watch people. It's a very hard country. If you are high up in the position, normally the driver starts the car and engine cool down, just air can't cool down for the people to come in to get into the car. Even for that time period, that VIP wouldn't tolerate the hot. So I was thinking, look at that, people are very, two kind of people. One that don't have anything to eat or drink. The other people live a very luxury life. Why can't be I like that? So I wanted to, my focus was to go up high in the line. So even coming to this country at the beginning of 4 or 5 years, I was really happy because we're really respected. Nursing is an amazing profession here. You do get paid what you work for, and it is a very recognized position. And then you got a voice to say, this is still amazing. But around 4 or 5 years after that, I wasn't really getting. I wanted to still go up. That energy in me didn't stop. So I wanted to pursue in my career further up. Then at that time, I was thinking of getting into medicine. When I was in A level, I left that dream. So I wanted to put it back in my life. So with the kids and children, Ananya was there. Johan even wasn't born. And Bharti was working in London at that time. So they agreed. So there was a lot of pressure. I had to study an additional course in London and working at the same time, full time, and doing nights, and we run out of money. But she was very good. She said, that's what you wanted to do, carry on. Then I knew I was joining Gateway at that time because Peter, Brian, you, and everybody knew. We joined around 2017.
2006.
Sorry, this is 6, not 6, yeah. So I was Bharti was really, I was in and out, I go to church and just to do whatever people do, and then I come out. And then I went to, there was a guy my colleague, he got a problem of son. So Stefan was coming to Gateway. Somebody was telling me a thing, just to bring anybody who is in trouble. So this boy have got a problem of some spirit related problem. So I brought that guy in for the night with Stefan. So I was sitting at the back 10, 11 years before, sitting at the last bench, because, I thought I was very good, amazing Christian. So I brought you because you knew that was really fun. So I was there, look, listen, keep I ear open so he can call you anytime. So this guy is waiting and waiting and waiting. He had to go to work. He was working on shift. And then he said, no, listen, I got to go, mate. Sorry. Then I was a little bit disappointed. Okay, all right. Then he went. Then I was waiting. I was really going to go home. Stefan got me. You, the guy at the loss. Okay, man. God has got plan for you. Something you're going to be related to a doctor or something. But he is given in a nutshell. It's up to you. There are so many things God had to teach you. You got a plan, and He wants you to be in His kingdom and to serve Him. And if you follow that, you can do it. If you don't follow that, it's up to you, mate. That's it. So I was really happy. Then I was thinking, because he was saying I did apply for medicine at that time. I did get that. Oh, so God is going to put me into that whatever I was working hard. That was really happy and enjoyed. Then what happened after 3 months? I didn't get it. It was very hard to get into it, And then I was asking, I was praying. I was comfortable without you. You said, Jesus, you just is somebody. You wanted to come into my life. You winded me up, and there is no success or anything in my life, which I wanted for a long time. I don't want to live life like this. I wanted to high up. I am not ready. I am not like people who want to sit down and do that. I want to work hard. I want to enjoy the fruit. I want to go up in the high in the society. You came in and you asked me to do that. You said you will bless me, but nothing is happening. Then that time, I couldn't come out of this depression. And Bharti was at home, home, India. She went to home. I was on my own without eating and full of drinking, and I couldn't come out of that situation. And then that time I was at the end of it. Then nothing couldn't take off the sorrow in my heart. Alcohol, videos, nothing. Nothing. Talking with friends, and I tried whatever the therapy, and I couldn't come out of it. Then this thought came up. Okay, I'll try to you now. If you are God, help me now. Help me. I am a drinker. Help me. If you are a God, help me. Take off the desire. Then friend of mine, one of the doctors who came into my stay at home after a week. Then he said, I didn't, he said, just a drink, let's go and have a drink. And then that time I realized I didn't have the desire to drink. I was a good drinker. I love drinking, and I mostly do five days a week. If everyday work, I love drinking that because I was kind of addicted to it. I drew too much. And that time I realized, he was telling me I didn't have the desire. Oh, then I switched back. What happened? Then it's, oh yeah, I prayed. So it's all real then. I was shocked. Nothing to do with God. I don't know who you are. You just come into my life. And you said that to me, I will make you like this. But, I asked you a question, you did it. That day, that was my encounter. That day, it shook me. And then I was a flutter. I talked to girls in a different way, people. But even after married, I just speak to girls with a flutter. That is my normal knowingly, to be honest. Then I realized God changed me. When I look at the guy, I look at differently. Like my sister, I was amazing. What happened to me? And people started noticing it. And people at the workplace start, what happened to me? What happened to me? What happened to you? You changed. So I wasn't crunching my teeth to change it. Then I realized the verses, God, Holy Spirit, give you to come and transform you like Jesus Christ, the image of his son. Then like in 2 Corinthians 1, it says, it's all written, mate. It's all pre-planned. So Christianity, it's not religion, going to church and follow that. It's God, the real God, come and change you in your heart to a different person like him. Then I got it. Then that was the encounter that couldn't change me. I dipped so many times, but this is amazing. So then I realized, I don't want to make myself equal with Paul, because Paul, everything, he was killing people. At the time, no, the real God, he changed. He The zealous of God is changed, but I don't want to compare myself with Paul, but I could compare with Zacchaeus. So Zacchaeus, he had a problem of charging money. He was leading that. As soon as he know who God is, he changed. So that's what me. I was very bad, and I'm not saying very good. God changed. Started changing me. That was that was only the best thing in my life. And Jesus is real. It is not a joke for me. It's kind of person. Like for me, for example, sorry, I'm not taking too much time. For example, if I go to the war, they give me handover, right? So do this, do this. Okay, I lost. No big stories. What else needs to be done? Things needs to be done. We'll do it. That kind of person I am. I don't want a big stories. So if the God is real, yes, it is what it is real. Let's go get on it. So the blessings you're going to give me, I want to go up. I wanted to go up higher in the earth, but now I wanted to go up the maximum blessing. You have it for me. I don't want to stop at the gate of the gateway, like the outer place, because in Hebrew 6 it says there are superficial blessings like repentance, baptism in the Holy Spirit, and then resurrection. Everything it's like a basic teaching. I wanted to know the full gospel. I want to go to the most holy place. I want to know what it is like. I want to get deeper into it. I'm not going to miss it because I want to go either way in high up, regardless. But I can't do it here because I got to be patient. There are so many teachings coming up. So I am waiting, and it is an amazing journey. People, I am explaining and I'm telling my daughter and son, if you want to live the one good life, if you want to live a life, the first thing is accept Jesus. Then it will be amazing. You'll be automatically transformed. The one more thing I want to say and finish, this guy called Sadhu Sundar Singh, he has written in his book, I was reading at that time, there are two options for a man or a person to live in this life. Either you follow what you want to do or follow God's plan through Jesus Christ. If you want to do whatever you want to do, there are dangers. Still, you won't be able to achieve what you wanted to achieve. Still, there's going to be failure. Still, you won't be able to accept, or still you won't be able to live the way you wanted to live because the world is constructed like that. Instead, if you follow Jesus, still possibly you won't be able to live what you wanted to live, but you'll be able to live what God wanted you to live. That's
Amen. Amen.
It's interesting.
If there's one life, if there's everything's real, why am I talking about outside? Just looking after, going up and things like that. Let's come and deal with that. Let's come and ask Jesus, come and more God, more God. We don't want a big handover, big lot of surrounding. You said that it is real. It is like we used to say, people giving in going into the heart arrhythmias, irregular rhythm. Sometimes we can give very dilutional fluid. It takes time, but if you give the very bolus of that medication, bang, it is a bolus. Give that injection, push, it changes us. Sorry, you're talking. Yeah.
That's brilliant.
That's very good.
Yeah, and it's good because I think we were just chatting about this week. How even when we had the chance to be together and worship God together on Sunday morning, you don't really get to know people during coffee, during when you're having biscuits at the end of the meeting. So sometimes you need to take time to ask questions and get to know the people around you. And I always believe that testimonies, when we hear how people had an encounter with Jesus, it's such an amazing way for other people to be able to see the power of God. And for me, it's a big boost to my faith as well.
Definitely, yeah. Now, Selva, there's a question here from Brian. The question is, do you think I wanted you to be a doctor or a nurse? And he's asking this based on what Stefan prophesied to you.
I have done. Was asking God the same thing few times. Now, one thing what we make sure, we are not perfect. We fail so many times. One thing, but me and Bhati make sure we want to live under His will. We don't want to go out because we're moving home and kids school and everything. We wanted to pray and we want to live under your shelter. uh, I gave it to God. I don't know whether He called me just to change the name or because to encounter, and then I
Mm-hmm.
gave it to Him. Where do you want me to? So the job currently I'm doing, it is kind of very good. Assessing patients, and it's like giving medication, prescribing. It's a very lot of people. The patients say, you're doing a great job. I am happy with that. It's more knowledgeable. Not equal to doctor, but it's specialist practitioner. You probably know what I'm talking about. So I to be honest, I don't know. If he wants me, I'm happy to. But if he wants me to stay, I am happy to. But the thing is, uh, we believe that we are under his will at this time. We are, but I'm just keep saying to him, sometimes still um, want to go. Sometimes you got to spend too much studying medicine and stuff and everything. Sometimes I was
Mm-hmm.
asking him, why you want me to do this, God? Do I really need to do it? Because if I want to give something, I got to know everything about the background of the medicines and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But what I feel here is, you got to be in where we are at the moment. We believe God asked us to keep this position at the moment. So I am open, to be honest, to God, Jesus. I don't know if you want me to, because you made Abraham at the age of 100 have children, but even I'm 60, I can't do it. You're going to make us to do it. Yeah.
Very good. So,
Personally,
pardon?
I don't mind either way.
Okay, thank you. You talked a little bit about your background, growing up in India, and not necessarily being forced, to do certain things regarding, your family's religion. But I wonder now, when you go back home, that you were, strong and sure in your faith, for Jesus. Do you feel under pressure? Do you feel some sort of persecution, maybe, when you go back to see, family and friends in India?
And even here as well, because we know you guys have friends from India that live in England,
Mm.
and friends that you guys used to go out with. Do you think like the pressure is bigger now that you guys are Christians?
Um, at the beginning we felt, because they couldn't accept that we follow Christ and we don't trust in their gods, and we don't like to follow their rituals and things.
Mm-hmm.
So they felt upset, and there was some, we had a bit of hard time, but now they knew that they won't force us when we go there, and moreover we go there for only a short while. So we didn't face the real problems, I think. But when we go back there and live, permanently, I think that time we may see or face problems. Now it's just now and then they just tease us, our cousins, because you being here, you born with us, and all these gods and stuff. Now because you live in an English country, you follow English god, things like that. Because according to them, Jesus is English god. So like that they think, because we come here we follow Christ. That's what they're thinking. They can't accept that because he's a real god, that's why we follow him. They thought it's just someone forced us, or someone, back home sometimes they do this interreligion thing. They uh, change the religions and things. So they thought someone forced us to do, that's why we are. And we
Mm-hmm.
have explained them, no, it's not like that. No one forced. It's just we feel, and we believe, and we enjoy the real peace with him. That's why we are with him. But I don't know, they can't accept that yet. They,
Mm-hmm.
even though they are higher in education and stuff, but still they believe that because we are here, we follow. Once we go back and we settle there, we'll come back to them. That's what they think. Maybe I don't know. That's what they feel.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. So I have a friend, and she just gave her life to Jesus not long ago. She's learning a lot about Jesus, and she is very happy for her decision. And but she's facing a little bit of problem with her family, and every time she's about to say something about Jesus or what she has, um, something that she read, an experience she had with God, or any of that, even before she says anything, her family start making jokes about Christians, about God, or complaining, saying if God is really real, or why, all this mess around the world, well, why doesn't he do something about COVID, or blah blah. So she's struggling because she had an encounter with Jesus, and she knows he changed her life. So now she wants to know, how can she preach the gospel to her family. So I was wondering, because you guys are in the kind of same situation she is now. Her family is not, they're not saved, or they're not Christians. If you could give her a few tips on how to, how to do that, how to share the gospel, what would that be? What tips would you give her?
Um, when personally, I myself, when I came to Christ, the after a short while, I think I myself had a kind of temptation, in my flesh. I had a hard time, and I was really struggling. And then I prayed, God, why it's happening to me? That was before our marriage, anyway. So why it's happening to me? And I really was. It was too much to take over, and because I was a new Christian, and there was no support from anyone else. But luckily I had a good church there, and they it helped. The time in the church, and the worship, and the people over there, they helped really a lot for me to come across that situation. So it happens to every new Christian. And after that only we got married. So I was so frightened, because I don't want to get married like a Hindu's wedding, with all the
Mm-hmm.
rituals and all those things. I was really so much, but I don't know how to express this to my family as well. I was praying, and that time he was not a strong Christian as well, so there was no one to support me to avoid that thing. But God really did wonders. I could say that in our wedding there was no the Hindu priest or anyone there. It was my dad's close friend. He came, and he gave the wedding chain, and we, that's how, for us it's the wedding chain. It's not a ring back home. So he took the wedding chain and gave it to him, to Selva, and then that's how we married. We didn't have any kind of rituals or anything. I thought, okay, it's all God's thing. I didn't even talk to anyone. I didn't have the courage to talk to my parents or anyone to stop those things, to all those rituals and things, because I just got baptized. I don't want to make myself, going through all those things with in front of the Hindu god and doing things. I was
Mm-hmm.
really, I was so much upset. Like I couldn't take over that. I didn't know what will happen until the day of wedding. But I was amazed. It was maybe because my dad was a communist. He didn't do all those things, but God worked through him, I could say. He didn't allow
Mm-hmm.
anything. There was no one to carry on all those things. It was just the wedding chain was blessed by them, and then it was just given. So
Mm-hmm.
God works. Though you face, when you come to Christ, of course, even Jesus, when he got baptized, he was tempted by Satan in the wilderness. He faced
Mm-hmm.
the problems, but we are not like as faith, as so pure like Christ, but still we got him in us, so we can confront as well whatever problems we
Mm-hmm.
face. We don't need to, we are not going to suffer as he did, but he'll give us strength to come through. The problems will go away. Still, our parents are Hindus, but they are slowly changing, I could say, especially his mother. She has changed a lot. She prays and she reads Bible. So I would still strongly believe. I remember once in church, Emily shared this word that they were praying for their family and relatives to come to Christ, and it's slowly happening. So I strongly believe that Jesus will do that one day if we keep pray for them. We don't need to argue with them, because it's for their lifetime they didn't know this, so all of a sudden they can't change. So it's our responsibility to pray for them, to the way, if they see us, the way we live, the way we speak, the way we behave with them, with others, the way we run our family, how. So while seeing that, if they see us that we have the real peace in us from God, then they can see, oh, there's some change in them. So that must be something. When they ask, then we can keep still. This peace we got from God, though we have problems, still the inner peace is still there in us. That, being a Christian, that doesn't mean we have you know disappointments, or miscommunication, upsets, or everything is there, but still at the end of the day, at the end, God speaks to us. He reunites us. The real peace in our family, it never goes. Thank God for that. So the way we live and the way we love others, maybe will help them to come to Christ one day. That's our hope,
Amen.
our belief.
Amen.
Yeah.
Very good.
So I think I've got two very important tips from what you said. To pray, you need to pray, and then just let God do his own thing. And, make sure that you are a testimony in everything you do. Those are amazing tips that we can all follow.
There's a comment here from Emily in Pokong. Pray even fast is important. Love them, accept them. Jesus never have to justify who he is. That's right. So I have a final question, but if there's any other questions from home, we can pop those in as well. But my question for you is, how do you cope with being, full-time parents, full-time key workers, full-time superheroes? How do you, especially in the times that we're living now, how do you, keep the faith, keep the focus, keep the hope? I believe whatever your answer is will be, a real blessing to all of us, to hear, because we all, struggle. We are full-time parents as well, and I guess part-time superheroes. Not full-time, but what is, how do you cope? How do you, stay afloat, during, especially during this time?
For me, what I do is I take Jesus with me every time, trying to, it's in my heart every time. In me, I ask and I speak to him and ask decisions. This is my, he lives. I believe he lives with me. So the way I take care of patients, you can ask, so far is positive impact. So it's not like in the morning and the evening. I missed reading Bible morning and evening times, but I prefer to stay within the closest possible throughout the day. So Jesus is a key worker anyway, still a key worker. So he's amazing key worker. He works all the time. It is challenging with the kids, especially, just to say them in the right direction. But what I believe, I found, if we are in his will, under his umbrella at that time, what he wants us to do, I think he will take care of it. Because still I didn't have much time to talk to my daughter or son. But if I am under his umbrella at that time, if he wants me to be in this place at this time, if I am there, not wishing myself to go around and look for something else. If I am in here, I think he said everything is covered at that time. What I'm supposed to do, I missed. I honest, I didn't sometimes. Um, couldn't get up in the morning because of the busy, and then I missed the study of Bible. But I want to go back and keep asking God, focusing what I can do more all the time. But one thing what I do is I believe whatever I do, my finance is open. In finance and my life and the way I speak, I want to speak to you the same as well as to my friends the same. I don't want to change the way of
Mm-hmm.
speaking because people have a different WhatsApp group. If there's a holy message, they forward to holy. If there is a fun message, they want to fun. There isn't anything like which only for the team. It's for no. I want to be living a life open to what Jesus asked me to do, and then this is me. I don't want to be holy, very holy. I don't want to show off myself holy. I want to be live a normal life as Jesus lived, and being a testimony to Him.
Mm-hmm. Amen.
Very good. Bharti wants to say something, I guess.
No, it's quite difficult at this time working in the hospital, and I felt real ups and downs during this pandemic. Whenever I tried to spend more time with God, and then something changes that. I had to, I changed my work hours so that I go early before everyone comes to the office, so I can sit quietly and listen to songs and some sermons and things like that. So I had that quiet time while I doing work without disturbing anyone, and I didn't have this thing. But I was really enjoying the peace in my work, and everything went smooth, and all of a sudden we've been redeployed to the ward, so everything gone. But still, and then I felt, there is a reason why God puts us in some places. So if He wants me to work in the wards to look after the patient, then there is a reason. So let's take it. Without His permission, no one can do anything in our life. That's I strongly believe. No one have the rights to do anything, even they are my boss or anyone. They don't have rights unless until God permits them to do. So I just accepted, and then it is okay. Still, it's physically a bit difficult because after a long time, I think I'm working in the ward, so it is difficult. When we come home, I felt so tired, and I didn't have time to even sit and do anything else, not to do cooking or anything. I felt so tired, but still, thank God, as a family, we just read a book which called uh, Getting Through the Storms in Life by Greg Laurie. It's a very nice book, because all of us, we are getting through the storm for this 2020 and still going. So it's very good, and it's encouraging. It's not uh, a big book or anything. We go little by little so that kids can understand, but it really
Mm-hmm.
talks to us. It's like of course, and it clearly explains, if we take God as a pilot in our life, He will take care of it. We don't need to worry about storms or
Mm-hmm.
turbulence or how it's going to land. No, if He is a pilot, we will just relax and sleep. He will take care of it. So that's how we learned. So that's really working. Uh, that's what I'm taking. But as you said, sometimes in flesh, I too feel very weak. I can't sit, and we don't have a proper time for family prayer, for long prayers, or long time to read Bible. But still, whenever we catch up, we share. Whenever the opportunity gets, we share God's words to the kids. That's how we cope. We're trying to be a good parent as well as a good nurse as well.
Amen.
Yeah, very good. You've been doing a great job. Well done, guys. Thank you. Thank you so much. I was, really blessed by everything that you shared. It's an amazing testimony, really, that you shared there. And I believe that, people at home, by the comments as well, it has been a real blessing.
Yeah, and getting to know you a little bit more.
That's right.
Yeah. Hopefully we can do this with other couples from Gateway.
Yeah,
And
sure.
maybe we have some volunteers. I don't know.
It can become a thing.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bless
you.
you, Selva and Bharathi. All right, and we will see you again soon.
Yeah, and people, to everyone else, you know, we ask people to remember to pray for them, you know, as they, and all the other people facing work every day, the teachers from Gateway, all the nurses, people that are like frontline dealing with all the pandemic. We're very thankful to all of you, and please remember to pray for them.
Amen.
Yeah. Bye, guys.
Bye.